It seems it never rains, but it pours for South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. Quite heavy storms, that are falling on him, and lots of shaking of ground, considering what is happening in the country. We are currently, just watching closely, seeing the Mdlanga Commission and, the kind of allegations that are coming out of top ANC officials, as well as government officials, police top bosses, some also in the judiciary, and business people connected to politicians, and quite a lot of havoc that is happening. Names are being thrown around of individuals that are involved in a lot of scandals that have been happening in South Africa, involving killings, abductions, corruption, drugs, and all the like. It's really very, very messy, very messy. Besides that, Cyril Ramaphosa still faces the threat of the Palapala scandal, which is still hanging, and quite a lot still want that issue, addressed and solved. And it seems it's not yet over. But above all, we are now also seeing that there's now all of a sudden, some pressure that is mounting. We see the ANC National Executive Council and opposition pressure Ramaphosa to resign immediately. So we really are looking into this and saying, what really is happening? Well, we know, of course, what has happened to Ramaphosa. From his time of office, we've seen that Ramaphosa has been under so much pressure. And we have heard many comments, coming from South Africans. When you go through social media and so on, you find that many South Africans actually say that he is the worst president that has ever happened to South Africa. Well, we don't know. That is just, the sentiments and, suggestions of South African people. Whether he is the worst or not, no, we can't tell. But we can only listen from the owners of the land and how they compared the current president and other presidents that have gone by. Really, I don't know whether it could be his fault or he just came at a very unfortunate time also, when the economies were just going down. But life generally has become more difficult under the leadership of Ramaphosa in South Africa. Things have become so expensive, food, clothing, and the general, day-to-day life is just escalated, and unemployment too has continued to shoot up compared to the other presidents like Zuma and the Mbekis going back there. So quite a lot of these tensions, including now the confusion that we are seeing in terms of issues of corruption and so on, it's really like eating into his, into his leadership fabric. So now at this point, we are now beginning to see that pressure now is mounting, because the National Executive Council looks like possibly the Politburo in ZANU-PF, which is of the ANC, putting pressure on Ramaphosa to resign. And we have seen also that the opposition is said to have also joined in the bandwagon of calling out for Ramaphosa's resignation. So Joy Zedler says here, breaking news, ANC NEC, National Executive Council, wants Cyril Ramaphosa to resign as the president of the country. Right? Quite a very sad and tense moment for him. MDN News says here, give me a resignation date and I will resign, says Ramaphosa. African National Congress President Cyril Ramaphosa has issued a bold and unprecedented challenge to his internal rivals, daring those plotting his removal to publicly name the date on which they want him to resign. Addressing the National Executive Council during what insiders described as a heated political interview, Ramaphosa confronted detractors head-on, urging them to stop discussing his exit in dark corners like cowards and instead table their demands transparently. He further signaled that if the NEC formally asked him to step down, he would do so immediately. The confrontation comes amid intensifying factional battles, with some ANC figures reportedly pushing for leadership changes and even proposing that a national task team replace the NEC. Ramaphosa, however, warned that the party cannot run mafia style and called for lifestyle audits of NEC members to restore accountability. Ramaphosa's strong remarks came amid media speculation that he was planning to resign after the G20 summit this weekend. Despite the tensions, ANC spokespersons insist that the party is united and that Ramaphosa will serve his full term until 2027. Still, his dramatic dare has laid bare the depth of internal turmoil and put pressure on his opponents to either formalize their rebellion or abandon their behind-the-scenes campaign. So we see there on the picture, Ramaphosa looking like he was giving a strong warning to those members that are pushing for his exit. But it's expected, especially considering how much South Africa is under pressure right now, even internationally, with the administration of Donald Trump also saying they will not be attending the G20 summit as long as South Africa still remains a member. It's a problem. So all these are just issues after issues after issues. And then, of course, we have the issues of, the xenophobia, the Dudula things, and so on, also tarnishing the image of South Africa as a nation all over the world. So we don't know what's going to be happening, but other reports that we continue to read around, they just keep saying that Ramaphosa could resign any moment. One was even saying that Ramaphosa will have resigned by Friday. So we don't know whether that is true, or it's just speculation, or it's just people suggesting. But we will keep following, of course, what is happening in South Africa, and of course come and give you the updates of exactly which is which. But at the end of the day, South Africans will have to choose what is best for their nation. Leaders come and leaders go, and leaders must understand that. And I think I respect Ramaphosa if he says that if the NEC says he should resign, he is ready to go immediately. I think that's honorable for him to say that, unlike what we are seeing with his friend across the Limpopo, who is even fighting to want to extend and bastardize the constitution and extend his term to a period unknown. So that on its own, it just shows us the differences between the two countries, Zimbabwe and South Africa, and why South Africa becomes a better country than Zimbabwe. In all aspects, it is because of the leadership. As long as we have the right leadership that also respects the law, respects the people, and respects the will of the nation, that is the recipe number one that gives progress to the nations. So we will keep watching to see if Ramaphosa is going to be gone by Friday, like what is being suggested in other quarters. But so far, so good. We'll give you updates, more and more updates in what is happening. Otherwise, I keep saluting you for always being with us, and of course, subscribing, commenting, and also, supporting the platform as well. Thank you once again, and let us meet in the upcoming shows. Bless you.